Hi there. So like any true tech person that exists on YouTube, I made the very difficult decision and I bought a Tesla. Specifically, I bought the Standard Range Plus 2021 Model 3, and it took me months to come to that decision, and I actually watched a lot of videos on YouTube to figure out if this was the right move for me. So I thought, why not give you the reasons for why I bought this car specifically, just in case you happen to be shopping around for a Model 3. So look, if you're watching this video, you've probably already put a lot of research already into Teslas, and specifically Model 3s. So I'm not gonna give you a full rundown of what the Model 3 is, all that kind of stuff. What I'm going to say is that the 2021 models are kind of the way to go. Look, I toyed around with getting a used 2018 long range for a really long time. And you know, there's some really good deals out there. There was great stuff that Tesla was selling in the used section. There was stuff I was finding, you know, I mean, even on like Facebook Marketplace, I was finding really good deals for. But ultimately, I had to think about the quality control that Tesla puts into their cars. And let's be honest, Tesla's not perfect, and they don't seem to try very hard on making sure their cars come off the line, you know, perfect. Okay, when it comes to 2018 specifically, it was amazing if you got a car that didn't have tons of issues. And I had to think about that, like what could I be walking into? Because even though used ones are a good deal, in reality, it's still a lot of money to spend on what might not be a perfectly put together car. And now while the 2021s aren't perfect, they have fixed a lot of issues they had in earlier models. With mine personally, I have nothing wrong with any of the interior so far that I've noticed. I do have paint issues though. When they painted the car, it looks like they might have scratched the car as they're painting it. It doesn't really come up on camera that well, so I couldn't really get you guys footage of it. But in person, you can see it pretty easily. And I'm already talking to Tesla, and I'm already talking to them about getting that fixed and working that out with them. So they seem to be pretty good about, you know, working with me on the fact that they basically gave me a brand new car with scratches in the paint. Let's talk about range for a second. The Standard Range Plus in the 2021 models now has 263 miles, while the long range has 353. This is a huge difference. So why did I go with less range versus the long range? Well, let me say, I already had an electric car before this. I had an electric car that had a range of 120 miles for 3 years. And in those 3 years, I never actually had range anxiety. Now, it does help that I live in Southern California, where there's a charger set up on like every corner of this area, so it's easy for me to charge. Before COVID, I was commuting about 60 miles round trip for work, and so that meant I was usually charging every day just to be safe. But now since COVID, I barely charge, maybe twice a week at that. Obviously, my use case is gonna be very different than yours depending on where you live. I'm just lucky that I live in Southern California, where there's just chargers everywhere, and they make it really easy to charge and own an electric car here. And because again, it's easy to charge here, when it came down to my driving habits, I looked at them over the last 3-4 years, and you know, I don't really go on a lot of crazy, like, long road trips. And so because of that, I don't feel like I'm missing out on those 100 miles of range between the Standard Range Plus and the long range. And even if I was gonna go someplace far, like I had to take a 3-4 hour drive someplace, I'm near so many Tesla superchargers that it wouldn't be a big deal. Because honestly, if you're stopping for 20 minutes to get out and stretch your legs, it's actually a good thing. And I actually enjoy doing that regardless of if I need to charge or not. So it actually kind of works out for me. But again, I live in an area where there's tons of superchargers, so it's easy for me to do that, and it might not be the same for you. So you need to look into that when it comes to which one you should get. Do you have the charger network that I have when it comes to like the ease of use of being able to have the lower range car? And also the changes to the 2021 versus the older models, they kind of sold me pretty quick. While there's nothing really major different between the cars, it is those small changes coupled with the increase in range and the increase in speed that made me go with it. And of course, the better quality control on these newer cars versus the older ones. One of the best parts for me is that there's no more chrome on the car anymore. I did not like the chrome on the Model 3s, so I was gonna get that deleted regardless of whatever color I got. So having it already, you know, no chrome, I love it. Having the redesigned center console was a big thing for me. It looks so much nicer, it's so much cleaner. The wireless charger already being built in, all the USB ports moved to USB-C versus USB-A. You know, they're all little things, but they add up and they equal a better experience. They even added a trunk that opens itself, which, okay, Tesla, like, you know, that's a cool thing in like 2015. Your car should have had it from the beginning, but I'll forgive you for now, you finally added something. But again, it's another change that increases the value of the car in my mind. Overall, though, I had to think about the value of my car over the next 3 to 4 years because I don't know what's going to happen in that time, what I might want then. And yes, getting a 2018 wouldn't be a bad idea, but also getting a 2021 just kind of makes more sense in the long run for me. But this is what makes sense for me personally. This is what works for my experiences, my charging situation, my own wants, and my needs are different than yours. So take this info that I've given you, take my own thoughts and run with it. Because some people just want the speed of the long range. I understand that. The long range is faster. Overall, though, I've honestly loved owning this car. I've had it for a little over a month now, and I absolutely love it. It's so much fun to drive. So many people have so many questions about it and want to talk to you about the car, and I love talking about it. It's fun. I didn't get full self-driving, by the way. I just don't feel like it's worth the price just yet. It also helps that I have a lot of friends that do have full self-driving, so I was able to test it beforehand. And to me, it's cool and it works great, but it's not something that I personally need. So I didn't get it. You can obviously add it on later, and maybe I'll do that when I feel like it's gotten the features that make it worth the price point. But for now, I thought I would just save the money. Now, any questions you have about my Model 3 or my experiences getting them, because even though choosing one is easy, getting the car is also a little tricky. So if you have any questions about what I had to go through to get the car, any of that kind of stuff, leave comments down below. I'll answer every single question that comes through. I promised you that, and I'll help you where I can. I also put in the description here a link. It's a referral link for me. This helps you too, though. If you use my referral link, if you're gonna get a Tesla, you get 1,000 free supercharger miles, and I also get 1,000 free supercharger miles. So hey, let's add that into our total of cost for this car. We don't have to pay for charging for a little bit. That's kind of nice. So it's a win-win, really. It's a win-win for both of us. Yeah, so any questions, throw them down below. I'll answer everything that comes in. I'll send you links to what I use for research, all that kind of stuff. Because this is a big purchase, and it is hard to justify certain things. But overall, I have not regretted my decision at all since I got the car. So yeah, thanks guys. I will see you in whatever video comes out next. Probably not about an expensive car. It'll probably be on like Apple stuff, which I normally do. So, but yeah, cool. Thanks guys. Does this make me a legitimate YouTuber now that I have a Tesla? Like, I'm still waiting for my sponsorships, you know? Where's Dbrand at? Why has everybody else got a Dbrand sponsor? But anyways, thanks guys. Later.